Hello, everyone. So let's just wait for another 5 minutes. Let people join first because I really don't prefer people learning from recorded ones. So I just want to make sure everybody's in the class. Let's go live trade. Yeah, maybe we can live trade. Just gotta see first if the setup and the chart is nice. Later, maybe we can enter something. So let me just wait and make sure people join first. Give me a minute. So the ones who already joined, have you forwarded me your homework? I started seeing a lot from people who sent me, and I realized that you guys are actually, for example, the chart is like this. You guys are actually labeling a lot of zones, correct? So labeling a lot of zones is fine, and it is teaching you which one works. For example, this one works, this one doesn't work, this one works. So it actually makes you understand faster. So it's okay, it's fine. But your target is later on when you already understand, you just pick the ones that you know that works. For example, this one is week one. So after learning and understanding, later on there will be less zones. Okay. I want to join the Riptide VIPs. You send it to me or you send it to Jack D. So send it to Jack. Jack is in the flight right now. So just let me type his Telegram ID. I'll be checking. 1 second. Checking his Telegram ID. It is at Jack EGR. That is his Telegram D. All right. Okay. Let me open the charts for a while. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Let me read some comments. Can you repeat the part drawing many zones? Zenge, it's just that some people are drawing a lot of zones. Like in the chart itself, they have 10 zones. So it's fine, I don't mind. But later on, when you understand further, you should minimize your zones into only the strong ones. That the zones that we only want to trade in, the explosive zones. Yes, it is only for VIP, but I just open it to public first for the first 2 class, and from next week onwards it wouldn't be in the public anymore. So people from the VIP is the ones who would be receiving all the classes, because I just want to make sure that the ones that haven't joined knows how I teach, how I explain, how I share my concepts. Can you show some example of the assignment and provide a feedback on them live show? Yes, Rip, go later after the class is done. I'll reply to some and I'll record and explain. I'll take a few examples from people who sent to me. And yeah, there's no sound. Emmanuel, you can't hear me? Everyone can hear me? Can everyone hear me? All right. Emmanuel, wait, I don't know what's wrong with Emmanuel. Let me message him. Emmanuel. Check settings. Okay, so let us firstly start off today by checking goal. So do you guys see the zones we labeled from the other day? I think I deleted. I didn't delete. Yeah, it's in here in H1. I told you guys that if it goes up, as long as it doesn't break around 1805, it wouldn't fall. So I told you guys if it goes up very slow and starts to go down very slow, it's a risk to buy. It's a better sell. So I hope you guys remember and see it happened over here. After it broke 1805, it just blasted off like this. Why? Because on M5, we did label the zones that it cannot break, which is this one, the one inside this red box here is the zone you cannot break. So if we extend this over here, do you see when it didn't break, it did reject. But when it broke over here, it starts to fall like crazy. So let's say from here to here, it fell how many pips? It fell 160 pips. But on the first lesson video, I told you guys 150 pips around here, right? And then when it touched 150 pips, why did it fly? Because of daily opening and buying here and support over here that causes the rejection to happen here. And it flew up, rejecting. But now it's nearing our opening of a daily. So if this, right now it's red, right? It's a bearish candle. So if it turns white, which is a bullish candle, it has the chance to push higher and fly. But let me see. Okay, that is it. So right now, for example, it broke up back 1805. So is it a good buy? For number one, we need to wait for the next H4. You know why? Because in 50 minutes, a new H4 candle opens. So for example, this candle flew up. The next H4 candle, if it comes back down, it shouldn't break back this level, correct? And we know that there's two levels. It cannot break that level. As long as it doesn't break, it's still a valid buy. But since it has reached this support zone, so it cannot break this support zone over here. Here. Okay. So everyone following what I mean? Let me read the comments. Yes, Emmanuel, you should choose Wi-Fi or dial in cellular first. Yeah, he still has no sound. Some people can't hear me. Let me type it out. 1 second, guys. Alrighty. If it break, then it fly or down. If it breaks, what? So let's say this is our analysis from the other day. Usually an analysis would last, like this kind of analysis could last for a few days, like 2-3 days. Then we have to make a new analysis. So technically, do you guys see I labeled a lower trend, middle trend, and upper trend line? We know that, like I said the other day, if it comes down, if it wants to go lower, it has to break this medium trend. I hope you guys remember. So technically it fell, reached the middle trend, and then at the middle trend here, there's a daily strong support here. And if we see weekly, yeah, it's here in this opening candle that started the buy trend over here. This level, it's a very strong level. If it wants to go lower, it has to break 1786. Yeah. So in monthly, also, why did it fall further is that it was above here, right? Somewhere here yesterday. It fell further because it's testing this opening of the buy. So when it falls down and reaches the opening, it will reject. Same goes to this H4 right now. It flew up and reject this level. Okay. So, but for it to reject this level, we need to see in lower time frame. So when we see in lower time frame, we know that the U-turn started from here, the rejection. So technically, if it wants to fly, it has to break around this level. Okay. So, but we cannot buy or sell yet because it's better for us to wait for the new H4 candle, which is going to open in 50 minutes. Because the new H4 candle, if you can imagine, it would be opening here or opening here or opening up here. So we don't know yet. Because if it's opening up here, it has a chance to just fly. But if it's opening down here, we know that it has the chance to drop first, test the opening of the H4 candle and reject. But if it's too close, it opens too close to the opening, it's dangerous because it can just continue falling. Okay, so there are a few cases that we don't know yet, but we have to wait for the H4 to open first. Because the next movement, like 60, 100 pips, would come from the new H4. A better one would come from the new H4. We don't want to trade before a H4. So this one, for example, it could fall. If it breaks this level again, it can easily fall until here. But why don't we take the trade? Because we are waiting for the next H4, which is better and more confirmation from there. On your mic, select Wi-Fi for sound. Okay, Emmanuel can hear now. So I hope everyone else can hear as well, crystal clear. So from the guys who joined my first day lesson, can you type out some understanding? If you don't understand anything, type it out. Because I will be answering all the doubts you have. So let's, for example, open back any random chat. Let us refresh what we learned the other day. So what we learned the other day was we start from opening the bigger time frame, trying to see the movement. So for example, since today is the middle of the month, so maybe sometimes we can check monthly. It's good if you can apply. So in monthly, we just start to check, okay, there's an opening here. Okay. And we know that also there's a support here. Okay. So we only have, we know that if it wants to fly, it will have a chance to fly from here or a little bit down here. But if it breaks this level, it will shoot down. Okay. This is from monthly. So when we switch to weekly, we can see that, okay, this week and today's Monday, it did fall down a little bit, but it starts to come up and the candle becomes bullish. So we know that there is a buyer pushing the price and it exists in here. Okay, the buyer exists in here, but we cannot know where is the support. We cannot see. So how do we see the support? we have to switch to lower time frame. We can see a better and clearer support. So for daily, we can see that, okay, it fell and then it opened, it closed here. So we know that as long as it cannot break the opening, it can fly. That's why today it fell, touched the opening, it fly back. Okay, so for it to fly, it has to break this level. Okay, around here. So that is from daily. We know that it's at a strong buy zone, but it has to break this level up here, the small green box that I show here. So then we check H4 to see where is the actual support and resistance zone. So once we know that in daily, it's a very strong zone here, so we can adjust our zone and make it smaller for us to understand. So we know that we want to take the lowest entry point, which is here, but it already touched over here, already touched and flew. So right now it's testing the drop candle. Okay, so what we do is that we know that for it to fly, it has to break this level. So there are two scenarios. We can wait for it to break first, fly, and if the next candle comes back down to this green level, we can buy over here. Why? Let me show you. Let me show you my note. Where's my note? Okay, good notes. Okay, this was what we learned last week. So what I wanted to show you was, yep, the pattern is like this. Then it fell down, created a support here, then it starts to fly up there. So we know that we can label that we have a resistance here that has to be broken for it to fly here. And we know that if it flies here, if it comes back down to this level, this would be the first entry level. Okay, the second entry level that could be reaching is this level. So if it's very close, we take this level. But if it's very far, for example, 30 pips, if we want to take the first level, we just have to make sure that we know what level it cannot break. So it has to be a very small risk SL here. Okay, because we know if it breaks this one, it will fall 30 pips. So why we want to float 30 pips for it to wait for it to go back up? We don't want that. So everybody, if they see this thing, if it flies up here and the candle opens here, we know that as long as it cannot break the opening here, when it reject down, it has some trouble, it can fly back up. But the opening has to be far away for the bearish candle. If it opens over here very close to this space, it has a chance to break and then test the second one. Okay, so I hope everyone get the idea when I'm trying to explain that. Let me read some comments. Why is the H4 candle this important? Because H4 candles are the candles, because daily candles are important, let's say, but we don't really have the time to trade intraday because it's going to be longer setups and much more bigger SL. So when we take H4 candle, it has the second highest volume, which is after daily. So that's why we always focus on H4 candle. But H4 is just position and opening. What we do when we entry is the lower time frame, M5, M1, M30. That's the important one. But zoning and timing, H4 is important. Start with large time frame to make zones, sharpen the zones with smaller time frame. Yes. Why don't you trade live all the time? Colin, you can trade live, like right now, we can trade live. But if we trade live right now, I cannot share and teach you. So it's right now it is a class, but we can check the charts and see. Why don't we trade right now? Because we are waiting for the new H4 to open in another 40 minutes. In deciding the area, it cannot break. We use lower time frames M1, M5, M15, right? In that case, do we include their wicks? Yes. For example, if you include a M15 wicks, it is actually a support or resistance in M1. Okay. Sergio, how do we consider wick that breaks out of the SNR? You said I should remind you of this question today. Okay. Okay. What do we consider if the wick breaks out the SNR zone? Okay. For example, this is resistance, this is support, and for example, it comes down here and suddenly it breaks, correct? When it breaks, sometimes the chart at the back here is the place where it flew high. So the wick sometimes wants to get this buy zone over here. Once it buy and it comes back up really fast, we know that it will respect the second one. So sometimes that's why when we enter at support or something, we got to make sure our SL is not too far away. And this is because if we know there's another zone, another important zone, and it's far away. If it's very close, like 20 pips, it's okay. But if it's like 40 pips, that's why we need to make sure that if we enter at the support, we just have to look out at, for example, M30. If M30 opens here, it has the power to push down. But if the M30 already opens here, it doesn't have the whole power to push down. The probability for it to go down like that, it's a little bit rare. So chances for it to come down is until here first, then it rejects. Then it decides to continue up or it play around there and then decides. So that's why it's important also to know the opening of M30. If it's far away, it's nicer because it can reject. Like, for example, I show you the chart. For example, this one. For example, this is H4, but it looks like M30. The patterns are all the same in any time frame. For example, it opened far away, it reaches the support, rejects, the next candle opens, continue. So let me show you M30, should have the same pattern. For example, let's see. Like this, for example, over here. The opening opens here, fell really far away already. It opened at the support, it can continue back up. But sometimes it breaks because the opening is at the zone. That's why it's a different understanding. Opening candle at faraway zones, when it touches support, it's a different effect compared to a candle that opens at the zone. So it's better to buy when the candle is very far away and touches the support compared to buying at the opening on the support. So there's a trick to it. So just keep in note and keep in mind that idea, and once you see it often, you know what to do, like what to do at that moment, like where the entity comes from or whatever. Let me read some other comments. Oh my god, there's another person that doesn't have audio. Let me message again. Let me just create this script over here. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure everyone can hear, because I don't want to make them miss out. Okay. Can you guys see I'm typing right now? Say yes if you can. I'm just curious. Let me read some comments. Please, how will you know that it's strong support resistance? How do we decide to wait for the first retest level or more down? How is that you can start seeing the volume in M1. If M1 has some troubles breaking that zone, it has the potential to not break the zone and would not go more down. Okay, so it all depends on M1 and M5. Like I taught you the last class, M5 cannot break a certain zone. Remember, when we labeled the line, the M5 cannot pass a certain zone and it can U-turn easily. But if the opening already break the zone, the SNR, it could just continue down. Let me read some comments. How big is your SL usually? Usually, I would prefer 20 pips or so, but the signals that are given in the VIP is mostly from Jack. So Jack prefers a little bit bigger SL because he is aiming for a better movement towards the direction of the direction of selling or buying. So that's why he creates some space to just prevent any error. Once it breaks zone, what is the confirmation we need before placing a trade? The confirmation would be the H4. When it break, how far did it go? If it goes really far away, it has a chance to sustain that trend, which is like a sell. But if it moves and break like 20 pips, it could easily reverse. It cannot be sustained easily. So it depends on the movement and the distance. The higher the distance, the stronger the trend. How do you determine what time frame for taking trades from? Liney, how do I determine taking trades? Usually, the bigger time frames are used for zones to know where is the strongest buying and selling zones. And then you'll filter out until the best level and zone in M5. After, for example, I showed you just now, monthly opens, understand what it's doing. Weekly open, understand what it's doing and label all the important zones. Open daily and then open H4. And then once you're done with that, you start to filter out in H1, M30, M5. Okay. Your laser is dark blue. It is hard to see on black background. All right, I can change. Bro, H4 after 31 minutes, right? Yes, it's in 28 minutes now. Yes, yes, yes. How big is your SL? Already say. How can we identify which candle is going to be open and what time? For example, M30 Ravi, it opens every 30 minutes. So at your phone, if you see the time, for example, 9:28, so it means in 2 minutes it opens M30. If you wake up and you see it's 11:15, so it means another 15 minutes M30 opens. So it's every 30 minutes. Elaborate correlation of candle openings in different time frame and their significance. Okay, Michael. I can explain that. I'll explain it later. I think I already explained it a lot of times actually, but I'll explain it again. Mac, M15 is best when looking for entries? No. It could be from M30 to M5 and M1 and M15 around the small time frame, as long as it is in the right zone in bigger time frame. Yes. Wait, there's another person who can't hear. Oh my god. Let me copy this thing. Let me post it to him. Okay, what else we need? Do you also have your own Telegram page? Because you always say Jack sends. Yeah. No, not yet. I let Jack handle signals because I love to teach and I love to make people smarter. Can support resistance and zone be the same thing? Yeah, it can. Can support resistance and zone. So you mean SNR and zone? Yeah. So if the zone is a buying zone in bigger time frame, we want to find the support and resistance in lower time frame, like when I showed you just now, like this. For example, in the bigger time frame, this is a buying zone, and it broke down, reached, and it flew up. So we know that if it comes back down and it doesn't break this minor support over here, it will not come back to the buying zone. It will continue. Okay, I'll show you later also, because too many things to show, too many questions right now. Too many questions on different things. I'm just trying to explain everything in one shot very fast. Show us how to enter in a trade. I lower time frame after analyzing. Yeah, understand Zeng. I did show on the last class, but I'll show it again today. Another perfect analysis. So if you are in a cell and it's 10 minutes in, you will be in another 20 minutes before candle close. I'm not sure, Andrea, what you mean by that. I can't really answer because I don't understand the question. Emmanuel, Jack is in the flight, so probably not. But since I'm live right now, if I see the chart is nice, maybe we can enter live. But we have to wait for H4 to open first. Okay. Weekly, daily H4 for finding support. Yep, correct. Joe, you use the Fibonacci retracement levels to enter trades. I don't. I thought that for people who don't understand zones. So when they use Fibonacci, it's easier for them to see the zones. Do you remember, Paul? You always join my class, so I think you should know. Label Fibo at bigger time frame to see the bigger movement, then you find another Fibo in smaller time frame to see the movement, correct? I hope you remember that. It did work also. On that class, if you see that setup, it worked the next day. Imran, after signal, how to manage lot size layering. After you learn this whole course, you know what to do because you need to calculate. Every lot you enter, you need to calculate. If it reaches here, what is the floating equity would be. So we need to calculate everything. So as long as you're comfortable with that, it's fine. It's all about your comfortability in the floating. Oh, okay, Andrea. It's fine. You can start off with Fibo first. Later on, you'll understand zones better. But today, I'll cover on zones again. So I hope you can get a lot of ideas from zone. What's my Telegram? I put it here. It is at, yep, it's that one. Please, is this method the same as a smart money method? Not sure. I don't read people's method. When I do the zone is very big. Is that, yeah, I saw some people send me analysis. The zone is quite big. The way you can make it smaller is by filtering in lower time frame. So what I mean is, for example, if I open weekly just now, if I were to actually put a support zone from here, it would be from here, right? So it's quite huge, correct? This is from weekly, for example. But when I open daily, I know that it doesn't have to be that huge. See, this support is so huge over here, correct? So what I do is, I understand what the chart did. That's why I straight away label this is support. I didn't put the support this huge. I just put the support is this small. I know that if it already touched and cannot break, there's gonna be another support inside this week. Okay, but where? The only way for us to see it is in smaller time frame, which is, we know that this is the first support. The second support is here, so it hasn't broken yet. But once it breaks this level over here, and it bursts up really high, when it comes back down, it cannot break this level. It's a support. So there's a chance. So if the opening of H4 is here and it comes back down like this, it can easily reject. But if it moves slow, it opens one candle H4, move like this, close here, and then it opens another one, move slow. Then lastly, the opening is here. So it has a chance to actually burst down or burst up. So usually it's better to take the ones that H4 that is far away from the zones. Let me change the color. I forgot. Somebody told me that it's too light. So I'll just put red. Okay. So let us check gold again. So gold, still waiting for in 20 minutes for it to decide what to do. Like I said just now, remember 15 minutes ago, I said that it can fall down, but if it cannot break this level again, because this is a support level here, it will not fall down. But if it breaks this level, it will fall to this level here. So right now it didn't break this one, so it will come back and test this one. But when it tests this one, it's almost to a new H4. So it means if it can break that, the new H4 opening would be around here. So it will burst up and test this level over here. Okay, so if we want to know it's worth or not, we calculate the pips, we pull it from here to here, it's just 50 pips. So 50 pips. So for example, if we entered a buy here, for us to sustain the buy, it's until 1805. So it's 30 pips. So it's not really worth it because 50 pips to 30 pips, not really worth the ratio. But if it falls further, and it's just 10 pips, yeah. If we buy, at least we can cover 80 pips maximum, almost 100 pips maximum, but maybe we'll TP earlier at 60 pips like that. Okay. Maybe tonight we'll find a buy. It comes slower. Let me read some. Great info, Joe. Awesome bot levels. What is the importance of H4 opening and closing? It is important because H4 is where the volume comes from. You see, if you open H4, when the H4 just open, it has the chance to move how many pips here? 160. And then when the H4 open, if it doesn't move much, it will not move much. But if it has big potential to move at certain zones. For example, if it starts to move very slow at certain zones, we know that it could burst straight away down. That's why H4 is important. Because if you go H1, let's say, it's gonna be very messy, like this. See, like up here, down here, too many messy. So H4 makes it easier to see. See, one candle only. So if the next H4 open, it comes back down, we know that we can buy here. It's very simple. But if you were to use H1, too many things to see. For me, I can see. I know that it burst from here to here and it fell. Then it burst up. So I know that the first buying zone would be around here. The stronger buying zone would be around here. But this buying second zone is a little bit dangerous because this is an explosion zone where this place you will decide a burst up or burst down. If you're wrong, you'll be really far wrong. So zones like this, you should put a small SR. Great lecture. My H4 opened 40 minutes ago. Hello, all right. Yeah. I got disconnected. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear? Okay, I got disconnected. Let me open the screen again. So, okay. So what I mean is, If you open M1, it's at 1808. If you open H4, it is also at 1808. So if you ask me what is the best time frame to trade, every time frame is the same level, but it shows different position. For example, this H4 candle shows it's a bullish trend, but it has reached a bearish opening in H4. If I open M1, I don't see the bearish opening. I see a small resistance here. But how do we know it's a strong resistance? We have to check from the back, see? So H4 would make it a little bit simplified. Okay, I hope you understand. It's not important to know which one is the best or whatever. You just know what to do. So what to do is, number one. Actually, I don't have to write a new one. Here, I already wrote. Number one, if there's a lot of data in the charts, we can start off with weekly. You can start off daily, H4, H1. Weekly is optional. If there's little data and it's empty at the back, because the chart keep going up, for example, there's no data here, we can start with bigger time frame, monthly, weekly, daily first. So number one, make sure your zone, you know your zone in big time frame. You label the important zone. Number two, you sharpen your zone in smaller time frame. Then put 2 lines from M5 where it shouldn't break. Which level it cannot break for that setup. For example, it's a buying zone. Where's the level in the M5? For example, this is a buying zone in bigger time frame. We need to know in M5 where is the level it cannot break. So we know that this level it cannot break. So we put a line here. For example, a red line, it cannot break over here. If it breaks over here, it will fall. So I hope you understand. You don't have to know which time frame to best time frame. No, you just finish your analysis from big to small, and then you decide where to enter at lower time frame and the timing. That one comes a little bit more on experience. What is the best lot size for 200 USD? Ahmad, it's all about your own risk management. But if you are still learning, I would say start off small first. Don't go, you can go 0.05. That would be very safe. You cannot burn your account if you keep, if you do your analysis properly, you will not. You might lose one setup, but if the other one works, you get 60 pips, so it covers back the other setup, so it's fine. You were silent, not a technical problem. You were silent, so and not a technical. I don't understand. Fastest. Okay, everyone can hear. Can we pick safe zones to enter? The bursting candle, when do we enter? If it can burst either up or down. Can you put it in a better way? Your question, I can't really understand. So for gold, we are waiting for another 10 minutes, okay? See what is happening. Another 10 minutes. So there's 2 more M5 candles. So far, I think it will drop first. It will drop. If it reaches, maybe the best buying zone would be, I check H4 again, guys, because I want to know where's the opening. So the opening is not down here, it's here. So if the H4 opens somewhere around here, it cannot break this pink box inside here. So inside that pink box, I want to know where is the M5 that cannot break. See this line? Let me change the color. I change to pink, for example. So I open M5, I pull this one, I know that, okay, this is a support zone over here, correct? Okay, this is the 2 zones, but this is only valid in this area, but I want to check, is it valid before? So, okay, see, it's valid. So it has been valid one time over here, one time over here. So let's us check again if it's valid at the back. So let's scroll. This is how you know. We want to know if it touches that zone, will it fly? If it breaks that pink box, will it fall down really far? So let's check. But I don't think there's data inside here because it's very far away for it to touch back down that level. Wait. Yep. Let's check. Up. Okay. Found it. So over here. Do you see over here? It's the third time but when it broke, it starts to fall. How many pips from here to here? 50 pips. But if it flies back up, we know that it cannot break back this zone, fly really far. You can see over here. It broke over here. Oops, I actually touched the zone. Let me check. Why is that this? So after it broke this zone, fell really far. After it broke this zone, fell really far. It tried to fly here, but it failed. So it fell 60, 70 pips. So it's very dangerous. So that's why right now, if the new H4 candle opens, it cannot break our M5 level, which is at the 2 line over here. So it means that this 2 line is actually in the H4 opening. You see, this 2 line is in the H4 opening. So as long as it cannot break this level, it's a buy. So are you guys following? I learned myself, It took me 6 years. I learned myself. I watched it every day, understand it every day, create concept, create hypothesis over and over again until I understand where is the most important zones, where is the volume entering from, what time is it. So there's a lot of things. So I'm simplifying it for you all. How to identify zone to break support resistance? Everything is still Spanish, the zone. I don't understand some of you guys. You guys are sometimes writing nonsense. Your questions must be in detail. The problem and what the problem, you should say the problem. Some of you guys are stating statements. How to identify zone to break support resistance? The question should be, how do I know the zone will be broken and why? It's a better question. Lost the audio. Can everyone hear? I'm so confused. Some of you guys can't hear. Okay, you can hear. Just making sure. So, how do I know this zone cannot break? Firstly, how did I label it? Let me delete some lines here. Too many lines. Okay. So, firstly, I know that daily has reached a strong support down here. Remember, we labeled it in our first class 2 days ago. So when the opening is very far away, it touches the buy zone here, it has a chance to reject, but how far? So how far, we don't know, but it flew up really high up fast. And then the new opening of the H4, you know where it opened? It opened near the pink box, which already proven here. See, there's a rejection here. So it flew. So when it flew, we are waiting for the new H4 to open in another 5 minutes. So when it opened, it cannot break back this pink zone. If it breaks back the pink zone, it means it's going to fall. How do we know it's a strong buy? Because when it touches this support at the daily support here, do you see it flew up how many pips? From the support to this pink zone, it flew 120 pips. In how many minutes? In, let's say, 30 minutes. So imagine in 30 minutes, people keep buying. So it means that there's so many buyers. So when there's so many buyers and they are floating profit, it will come back down to a zone it cannot break. As long as those buyer down here don't TP, it will not break this zone. So it flew again. So now new H4 is opening. We know that it can come back here. But as long as the buyer exists here and they didn't close their position, it cannot come back down here. Probably they will not TP yet. You know why they won't TP? Because they are long-term traders. If you can see here, this place, it flew from here to here, 2,600 pips. So do you think a buyer already buy a nice zone and it flew? Do you think they want to TP really fast? They are aiming at least half of this. So it's 750 pips. So they are playing the long-term game. So they are just holding. And they already put their break even. So it doesn't matter. So I hope you understand. Why is it important? So right now, daily is even turning bullish. But if it turns bullish, what is the nearest resistance? It's here. Somewhere around there. If we see H4, we can know exactly, okay, it's here. It's at the next zone here. It can come, the potential can come up here. But it has to break this one. So, but from here to this, the first one is already far enough, 50 pips. So if it comes back to this pink zone, if we get the buy, we just take the first one. It's already 150 pips. But if we were to hold for the second one, it's possible. It's just that the rejection has happened here. See, rejected, rejected. So we don't want to go to a place that hasn't rejected yet. So far, the zone that people keep selling is here. So are you guys following some understanding here? Yeah, Zahirul, you can, you have to ask Jack about the recorded one. A Vegas. For me, usually if to put break even, if you enter at a strong zone like the pink zone just now, the 2 lines, if you enter at a zone like that, it, for example, flew up 30 pips, 20 pips, you can put at break even. But usually if I enter, I just remain my SL 15, I lower down my SL. For example, my SL would be 20 pips, 30 pips, for example. After it flew from the pink zone, I would put my SL like 10 pips lower from my entry. You know why? Because, for example, sometimes, for example, if you entered here, you buy, it flew up, then you put BE. It comes back down, it touches your BE, it flew up higher. So I want to prevent that. I know that it cannot break the pink zone. So I take below the pink zone, which is 10 pips away. Or at this next one that cannot break. So I put 20 pips. You understand? So it all depends on the pattern on the chart. It's not a fixed knowledge. My brain is exploding. Nice. Please, Joe, how do I enter trade? Secondly, the minus SNR in lower time frame, serious ones. It can be serious ones as long as it's at a bigger time frame zone. For example, the bigger time frame zone is buying zone. And the M1 already created support and resistance. So the support is more important than the resistance because it's a buying zone. So we try to aim at lower time frame support. Today, get this thing broker will weep soon. I don't understand. How do you identify false breakout, Joe? False breakout usually it comes from bigger time frame. For example, gold. I bet there was a lot of people buying yesterday before it fell. Correct? I'm not sure yesterday where we did. I think yesterday was, let me check. Yeah, here. So for example, we did our analysis over here. So it got stuck over here. So when it reaches over here, people think it's a buy. Why did I say a sell yesterday? It's because if you open daily, monthly, or weekly, let me check. If you open weekly, the candle has turned red and it touched, for example, over here, the zone it was at. It's already red. So do you think that the whole week movement is just going to U-turn over here at the first one? Yes, It can U-turn. But why did it didn't U-turn? Because it broke our buying zone here, 1805. Like I said, this is the first buying zone. It broke. So where's the next buying zone? It's down here. That's why it touched down here. So I hope you understand that one. That part is very important. So that's why it flew down really fast. So how to know a breakout is, we cannot estimate roughly, but we know where we have to look out for the lines. We know it cannot break here. If it breaks, it will be a fake out buy, just sell. If a fake out sell, for example, okay, like this. People think they want to sell here. Right now, they just want to sell because the chart has fallen, for example, here. Correct? They want to sell. No, because it can be a fake out sell here because it will be a buy. You know why? Because it already touched a daily support that has cost how many thousand pips? I think it was 2,500 pips. Is it just now? A lot. So it has caused the chart to fly up 2,500 pips. Let me show you again. Over here. See, this zone has caused the chart to fly up here, 2,700 pips. So do you think that when people got the entry buy, okay, let's say you got the buy down here, do you think like you just want to TP straight away? Of course, you want to try to hold it long term because you can make so much money from here. You enter 0.1, you will make $2,700. Why not, for example? So it's the potential and the risk is more towards the potential. The potential is so far up. So even if you want to TP quarter of this area, it would be worth it. That's why if people were aiming sell, it's wrong because people who entered buy down here, they will not TP. As long as they will not TP, it can cause the chart to continue go up. I hope you understand that part. Joe, I have to go to work. Okay, bomb. Thank you for joining. You can go to work. It's fine. At least you started to join. You got some ideas in it. You got some momentum. When you are working, your subconscious is trying to make the pattern, understand the pattern without you thinking of it. So it's good. So have a good day at work. Joy, I have to go. Oh, a lot of people have to go work. Okay, I hope you have a good day at work. So what's a zone 50? I don't understand, Ria. What's your question? What's a zone 50? H4 open, H4 open. Okay, I forgot. Because I was teaching. Okay, H4 open. And it start to fly up. Let's say. Okay, but okay, H4 open here, around here, correct? H4 open. Okay, right now, let's see. Let me check. The first 10 minutes of H4 opening, we have to let it be. We don't rush it because the first 10, 15 minutes is just going to be testing the waters. So, okay, it doesn't matter. Let it fly. For example, it can fly. Even though we know we can buy, but it's okay, let it fly. Then we know that it cannot break this level, correct? For example, if it fly, it cannot break back this opening. So we wait first. If you want to enter now, for example, your SL would be, yeah, 30 pips, around 30 pips. So not worth it. Because even if it flies up to this resistance, it's 80 pips. But there's a resistance here, don't forget. So at 20 pips, it has some resistance here. Over here, see? This part. This one, I have to make it smaller. Let me fix my chart. Is everybody following? Some people are quiet. Don't be so quiet. Okay. Yeah, so if it breaks this level here, if it open burst up, we know that wait, let me see M5. Okay, see the M5 opening is far away from the, okay, this one M5, new M5. This new M5 can fly. but it's at a resistance. So we need to see first if it can fly. So if not, it will test back this opening. Then it will decide to fly or not. So we wait and see. Because what we want, guys, we want to enter from the pink box here. Remember? Don't get too rushy. Don't get too excited. You have to relax and wait down here. Okay? Because we already TP3 how many times today? All the positions TP3, 160 pips. We got the sell, right? So today we already made a lot. If people are aiming for TP3 today, they achieve TP3. So we should just wait for a better setup, which is down there. The logic of buying is really good. Thanks, man. Welcome. Will this be posted? Hey, Carlos, I still remember you from last class. Missed the first part. Okay. It's fine. It'll be posted. It's just that next time you should enter so you get the vibe, the live vibe. Because if you watch a recorded one, you cannot ask questions, you cannot talk, you cannot participate. Should I take one entry or multiple entries? Wait first, Akash. Wait first. Relax. Enjoying the class. Thank you. Bro, can you check USD CAD? Okay, I can check USD CAD. Just give me 1 minute to check the chat. How much do you consider fundamentals? Fundamentals, usually it supports. For example, the price has reached a very strong support. For it to break or burst up or burst down, the news has to do it. That's why news usually, when it's at a strong resistance, it could have the chance for it to break. So you have to be careful on that. Can I have a summary in form of step-by-step that will help us grasp the idea? Yeah. Technically, Dr. Joe, the step-by-step is already, it's very optional. It's very optional because it depends. You have a lot of data or you don't have a lot of data. For example, you have a lot of data or no data. For example, gold here, if you see. Gold here right now, today, we have a lot of data from here. But down here, we don't have. So when we don't have down here, what we can do, what we must do, if we see H4 also, we don't have data very near around here. We don't have. What we have is far away, correct? So for us to make sure that this far away zone is correct and strong, we need to check in bigger time frame. Does it make sense? Where's the opening today? It reaches a support down here very far away. It can reject. So does it make sense? Weekly, where did it open? Is it a bullish candle yet or red candle? So it's very optional. There's no step to it, but the step to it is for you to understand each time frame one by one, understanding where is the buyer at, where is the seller at, which zone is a nice buying zone, which zone is a nice selling zone. Then you filter out in smaller time frame like this. See, this is a step. Make your zone in bigger time frame. So making the zone in bigger time frame sometimes depending on the SNR, depending on the opening and closing of the candle, depending on the explosive zone, the zones or level that cause a really high fall, a really high fly or a really low fall. So all this we can accumulate and start to label the zones. Once you're done with that, we know where's the buyer at and seller at. Once we know, we need to sharpen. Where would the buyer not enter anymore? When it break a certain level. When it break a certain level, like for example here, a buyer would keep buying here at this zone. But once it breaks this level, no one buys. When you scroll at the back, when you scroll at the back also, no one buys. So that's why we have to make sure we know what level it is by checking like this. Put 2 lines from M5 where it shouldn't break. So like how we did just now, inside this pink zone here. This is from M5. I showed the steps. Last class, I showed the step as well. So just be more attentive. Write down what I do. You'll get it. You just have to relax and understand the concept. Because every time frame is the same. You just have to understand the concept. Okay, this one. See, it tried to reach down, but the new M5 candle open. and M15 is opening in 5 minutes. So over here, I don't think it has the power yet. Yeah, not yet. So maybe the buyer would enter from a little bit this around here, maybe. Just let it be. Let it be first. Double top means go down. We don't use that patterns. Santosh. Yes, USD cat, I'll do it. Let me read some comments first. After we post this one, I'm at work. Oi, you're at work, but you're still listening? Good. Yes, I'll be posting it. Jack will be posting it. Let me read some comments. There's so many things to read. Joe, I have doubt. Now the trend is strong sell, and it is good to buy half a buy. Because after getting bigger, it's usually getting very low. Since all new are against gold. I don't understand, Karthik, your question. But if you're saying you want to trade currency, you can. It's the same concept. You can trade currency. Oh my God, you didn't see any of what you said on the chart. Okay, now good. What do you mean? Joe, please, can we try a swing trade one of these days? Yeah. No, but if you want to a swing trade would be, it is the swing trade of a buy happened here. If you got the buy here or the buy here, it already happened. So this one, you can just hold the buy, technically. So this is a swing trade. The buy would happen like this. Can I mark my SNR on a small Android? Yes, you can call it, but you have to make sure that you zoom out and double check everything, because when you do at the phone, it's easy. It's very possible easy, but sometimes people mislook because it's small. So you just have to make sure that you don't mislook. You understand where's all the areas and everything. And when you're using phone, you have to use bigger time frame and double check before you enter small time frame. Because if your bigger time frame trend is wrong, then your whole M5 analysis, your zone, all would be messed up. All right, please got the live because I'm driving. Break, H4 is breaking. Yeah. So this one would just fly, but we're just waiting for this ping zone, which probably would come, but it's fine because there would be a rejection here anyways. So if the rejection happen, you reject until here, then you can buy. No rush. Or maybe tomorrow when it comes to this level again, you can buy. But your SL would be like 10 pips, 15 pips. Just label this area. 1799.26 and 1797.93. Everybody label this area. 1799.26 and 1797.93. It's important. Just label the area and you see. If it touches by the area, if it doesn't break, it will fly. I am in 884 with 2 positions on sell from 1801, 1803. Why did you sell? You were in the class. I didn't ask you to sell. Yeah, Carlos, it's fine. At least just focus on your learning. Later on, you know what to do or where to hold or what not to hold. Put the figures, what figures? So right now, yeah, it's just gonna push up. Maybe it's gonna fall back down here. 1803 just now. Somebody 1803 is quite far. 1803. Let me check for that dude first. Okay, for the dude who entered 1803, if it breaks this M1 again, I think you should TP. You should cut. Just make sure that you know this is the maximum. Because if it breaks this one, it will definitely fly. How many pips here? 40 pips. We don't want that. So you just have to make sure it doesn't break back this thing. Because I don't know how far it can fall down. but what we know, it cannot break this level here, because I feel like it can still go down, but I don't think it can go down. We don't know how far it can go down, because here is the strong buying zone, 1805, but we want our buy to be here actually. So you have to decide. Because if it breaks this level, dude, it will fly 40 pips minimum. So it's not worth it for you to hold. Just cut it and then like get better setup slowly. Let's say the price comes up to your zone. Do you enter immediately or wait for the bullish candle? We see what time is it at. If it goes in the zone, if for example M30 opened and then it fell really far to the zone, so maybe we can just enter M1, or we wait for the M5 to open and see. If the M5 open like this, for example M30 open, fall really far, touch the pink zone. Let me change to pink. Touch the pink zone. When it touch the pink zone, this is M30. Okay. In M5, we can see a few candles, correct? Like maybe first like this, then second like that. Do you understand? There is going to be like almost 6 M5 maybe. Okay. So if this opening touches here and then you want to enter straight away, it's very risky. But if it slowed down, for example, like that, and it starts to slow down, then maybe we can buy, because one engulf, you can easily eat back all the small ones. But if it opens here, it cannot eat this big one here. It has some problem to fly. So that's the difference. I hope you understand that part. Should I take one entry or multiple entries? What do you mean, Akash? It's the same. As long as your total lot size is fixed. For example, if you want to take 0.1 entry, but you can open 0.01 10 times. So if you're not really accurate on your zones, you can, and you really want to open 0.1, you can open 0.01 one by one. Don't open 10 times straight away. So you just open one by one. How can we know when to full margin? Like FR, like this setup here, it was a full margin setup when it touches this level. Because why? If we entered from here, from the bottom to here, is how many pips? Wait, I don't know why my... It is 100 pips, quite far away. Wait, I have to see low time frame. It is 30 pips, yeah. So this is a full margin zone. From this level here, we know it fly. It's a full margin thing. Because the opening of the candle of the H4 is very far away. It was from here, it fell really far away. Do you think it can fall like 1,000 pips one candle? Doesn't make sense, right? So you have to think logic. If this one H4 candle already fell for 200 pips, do you think it can fall further? People would start buying inside. What's your logic on taking a sell now? We don't take a sell now. I didn't say take a sell. I'm aiming for a buy. I'm just saying that the logic of this, it opened, it didn't go that far away. It didn't break the zone really far away. So it can easily come back to the zone here. And then when it come back to the zone, it's at a resistance, it can respect. But what I'm saying is that it cannot break this green box here. Because if it breaks this green box here, it's breaking this, it's entering a support zone. When it enters a support zone, people will be buying. Right now, it did go up a bit than the support zone, but it's very small. It's not even like 30 pips. So it still has chance to fall, but it cannot break on top over here. But how far it can fall, it depends, because there is after it entered the resistance here, it has to fall until here. When it fall until here, then there's a chance for it to either fall back lower or fly. you can take at different price point. If you for example, you want to take a buy. For example, if you want to take a buy, for example, the chart enter, you enter 0.1, but you're not sure if it's going to fly. You enter 0.01 3 times, for example. Then it started to fly. Then you can enter 0.1 again, 0.01, 0.01. Okay. But you have to know that your accumulated lot size, and you calculate if it falls, how much you would be floating. You need to calculate the risk, and are you comfortable with that risk? Do you see, guys? After it broke this thing, it flies. So now it has the chance to fly 40 pips to here. It has easily, it can fly. So if you want to enter buy right now, okay, I want everyone who is okay, you can enter buy, but just enter 0.01. This is just for knowledge. I just want to show you guys some knowledge. What happens if you enter? Because this is called breakout setup. Okay, so is everybody entering 0.01? Who's entering? And if you enter, tell me your price level. 0.01. Okay, enter 0.01 faster. Okay, somebody already entered. Okay, let me label. So you guys should be entering around here. Let us change this color to orange to show entry. No, not orange. Let's see. Okay, we know that when you guys entered here, you know that you cannot break back here, correct? This is a support zone here from last time. See, last time we labeled this one. Sometimes it can be still used. So technically, see, it's the same as our green one. So we just leave it be there. Now, I feel like it has a chance to fly higher. Wait, let us wait. So what I'm looking for is that after we enter 0.01, we know that it cannot break back this opening. So if we were to calculate our risk, it is 20 pips only. 20 pip risk for a first zone would be 30 pips, 40 pips. Second zone would be 120 pips. So it's 20 pips for 120 pips. It's worth it, right? $18.12. So everybody entering at $18.12. Okay, $18.10. Oh, somebody entered buy earlier. Tarik, $18.10. Okay. So how do I know where to cut? Is that I saw M5 because we entered based on M1, M5, right? So we know that this is the place it cannot break. This is the first place it cannot break, correct? This red box here cannot break. The second one would be here. That's why our SL, we just take the second one because this is a breakout entry. We don't want to miss the fly. So we didn't wait for the second one here because it couldn't fall further just now. So we had to take the breakout entry. So right now you guys are floating, let's see, 15, 17 pips. So the sticky peak top is support. Sticky peak, interesting name. Because when you're trading, you have to enter 0.01 to get the feeling, to tell yourself that I have once achieved 100 pips. Once you can say that to yourself, it's not a dream. It is something achievable. That's why sometimes when you practice, you have to enter. Even though you're not sure, you have to enter 0.01 at least. For you to tell yourself that you achieved this or you didn't achieve this. You have to make sure. you experience that. So now, for example, M30 is almost opening. So this M30, you see, the opening is very far away and it's coming to a rejection zone here. So what we know that it hasn't reached the rejection zone yet. So this new M30 can open and still continue and break. But if this M30 goes into this zone very fast, it has a chance to reject very fast as well. Okay, let me drink some water first, guys. Guys, can we take 2 minutes break? Just take 2 minutes break. I need to drink some water. My throat is killing me now. I don't know why. Okay, just quick break. I'm just gonna see the chat as well. So it's Carlos, the SL. For now, we put the SL around here. 18.0, 20 pips away from this to this. Let's say just put 30 pips over here. Just put over here. I'm just gonna take 5 minutes break, then I'll continue. But I'm gonna see the chat as well, so don't worry. If it goes a little bit lower, maybe you can cut at 5 pip or 10 pip, doesn't matter. What is TP? Relax, Lulu. Somebody said he wants a swing. Relax first. I don't know yet where to TP, but because I'm waiting for M30 to open. Because right now it's very fast up, and it might reject over here. So let's just wait, because this new M30 might open over here. So there's two options. When the new M30 open over here, around here, it will burst up or it will slowly to go down slowly. So for me, I think it's gonna burst up to here to test this area. So maybe we TP around here in the middle, 40 pips away. So total profit would be 60 pips. Around there. Let's just wait and see first. But if you want to TP at 20 pip, it's okay, you can TP. It's just that I want to give you guys some feeling achievement that it's very possible to achieve, you know. You have to have that. So it doesn't become a dream, it becomes a fact. So I'm talking a little bit slower because I'm making sure my throat is resting a bit. Because I've been talking for an hour, 30 minutes non-stop. So go and smoke. Of course, Tariq, I want to smoke so bad right now. But it's gonna take a while, you know. So that's why I'm not smoking. So great. The possibilities. The possibilities is in 1 minute, M30 will open, right? When it open, this opening is at a rejection. So it has the chance to continue the push or to retrace. Even if it retrace, do you think that M30 will be red and straight away test the opening? No, it takes a while to go down. So even if we want to swing this straight, we have to, sometimes it will, the floating would be not in profit first, and then later on in profit. Okay, right now, let's see. We have to decide right now. Okay. For example, right now you guys are floating how many pips? 20, I think. Yeah. Just leave it first, it's fine. Okay, this M30. It's because we have to think logic. If this M30 starts to fall, it can reach half. So when it reach half, it can touch our SL, correct? So what we want right now is that where it cannot break right now. So it cannot break our entry zone. So our SL, we can just shift it to, but I don't want it to break even because I'm confident in this setup. Okay, let us just make sure it doesn't break here. Okay. Or here. So technically, should we put break even or not? Let me think. Because I did tell you guys just now, if the chart bursts up really fast and goes into the selling zone, it has a chance to reject. And our entry is at the half. Oops, I touched this pin line from where? Okay. So let's just make sure it doesn't break back our entry zone, because our entry zone is a place it cannot break for it to fly. It cannot break. So you can move your SL like 5 pips away. Let's just take a 50-cent cut loss. 50 cents. So put your SL here. Put your SL. Let me see. Yeah. It should have some problems here. Cannot break this zone. So we can put our SL over at 1. You can change your SL. Because I really am confident, like, we shouldn't change our SL. Because this zone is very strong. Or should we just make sure it doesn't break this entry zone, and then if it falls further, we enter again. So that's also possible. Because right now, see, it touched our purple zone, bounce up really fast because it's in M5, it's there's a support in the week. So right now, but if it wants to fly, it has to break back this opening, which is going to be a bit difficult. So the next one, maybe yes, the next M5, it can break, but this M5 cannot go lower. It has to stay around here. Then the next M5 open, it must push up. If it doesn't push up, then we can close first, because we want to enter a lot of lots down here at the pink zone. So okay, you turn at our red zone here. Let's go. Drink water, go smoke. Doesn't become a dream but a fact. Yeah, correct, Eric. I love that quote as well. You people are too much. This one is happening in life. What do you mean when you say floating? Floating means when you enter a position, do you see the top of your entry at the phone or iPad? The numbers goes up or down, right? The profit, is it a profit or loss, right? It's moving. So it's called floating. As long as you didn't close that position, it's called floating. How about a sell from 1814? Why don't we take a sell, for example? For example, we don't take a sell because of the new most recent movement caused by M30. Too high up. And when this has happened, it is above a support. So for it to test the opening again, so you guys might say, why didn't sell and just TP at the opening? Because there's a support here. Don't forget, around this area. Correct? So That's why people already bought down here and already fly. So even if it comes down, there are people going to buy at this support. So that's why it's not really nice. And that's why this one is going to fly. If it breaks this wick here, do you see this wick here? This one wick. If it goes a little bit higher than this wick, it will burst. How far can it burst? Probably until here. If it doesn't, if it breaks this one, oof, we're going to TP 60 pips, baby. You see, it cannot go higher because it didn't break the higher high. When it break this one, it will burst. Okay, this one. Almost there. This is explosive zone. This is called breakout. Sometimes I would full margin in this kind of area because I know it's burst up. So after it bursts up really fast, I'd already straight away put break even. So full margining at this kind of area, sometimes with experience, don't do it without experience. Crazy, is it? Don't do it. So with experience, it becomes worth it. So technically, see, it's hard to break this wick up here because there's a seller here. Now this seller is getting scared and then maybe they cut. So the buyers are getting confident. So now it's gonna burst up. So okay, just put your break even. You can put your break even now because it already moved 20, almost 25 pips, almost 30 technically. So you can break even because when you are at 30 pip already, when you put break even, it shouldn't, if you're correct, the setup, because we are aiming for a 60 pip setup. Right? So just put break even. It's fine. Doesn't matter. It's already a win. I want you guys to feel 50 pips or 60 pips for this one. This is called breakout entry. Yeah, Andrea, you can leave it open. Just be aware. Like if it comes, you just have to close or whatever. I usually leave it open as well. What's your car at the moment? You need to relax for me. relax. Okay. And one also respect the trend line. But it's reaching a selling zone. But wait. You see, it cannot fly up if it cannot break this wick up here. If it can create some space here, it will burst. I'm just waiting for the burst to happen. Okay, let's go. It's gonna start bursting. So that's why this kind of area I would full margin, then straight away put break even. Because this kind of area, if you're wrong, you just cut straight away. This is for knowledge, not asking you to full margin. Don't. Because of course we would prefer to full margin here instead of here. This is already at a resistance. It can fly up high, but a better full margin setup would be another day, not this one. So you can see also this opening didn't even reach the resistance yet. So a new candle open. So this new candle and the resistance is quite new. When it is near, it has the chance to just break it. But when it is far, it will be harder to break it and will have some rejection. So have you guys put your break even? Okay, already put break even. M1 breakout and pullback important. PC, your questions must be more accurate. Which breakout you mean? All right. See, when after it broke this week here, people think it's not important. For me, I measure this kind of thing. So imagine I see already I full margin. Now it will burst up higher. Then I will put break even straight away. So usually if I full margin also, my cut loss would be like 5 pips, 10 pips away. That's how I do it. If I'm going for a breakout setup. This is breakout setup. Even though we missed the buy down there, it's okay. We take the breakout. We buy at resistance. It's called breakout setup. But you have to understand the volume. You have to understand the time frame. Something like that. Okay. All right. How many pips have we been floating? I think 30, right? 30 pips. Yeah. So I think it can break this zone actually. I have a feeling it can just break this zone easily. So okay, but I don't wanna decide your money, guys. So you can decide if you want to TP or not TP because it's at a resistance. Okay. I'm not God, like I cannot know if this is gonna respect or not. It's just based on my feelings. It has the chance to break this one, but I don't know when. But it has the chance. Could be now or could be retraced back for a while and then break. We don't know. But what we know, M15 gonna open soon. So if it wants to fly higher, this new M15 that opens must open here. And it cannot be red. It should just be flying the next M15 in 5 minutes. You and your brother is the best for the world. I'm seeing everything live right now. I didn't enter, but the leaning itself is good. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, I think yeah, some of you can TP, just TP. Some of you, if you don't mind, you're not gonna feel disappointed. It hits break even, like, oh man, I should have TP. You don't want that. If you can smile even though it hits BE, then you can hold. But if you're gonna like, oh man, I should TP, you can TP now. Even though I know there's a high chance for it to go, but I'm not 100%. I cannot tell you it's gonna go. It depends on the world buying and selling. It depends on the people out there. But from my experience, this kind of things is called fake out. People think, oh, it's a sell, it's gonna sell. No, the chances for a buy is higher than the sell. So even though it's at resistance, this one is different because it has touched a very strong buy from the daily zone and weekly zone and then pushed up. So the buyer hold their position and then it continue up. So the buyer sometimes might put new lots along the way, maybe. So they are anchoring the whole price. But right now, it can fall from a short-term seller, scalpers, but the long-term still hold. So the chances for the buy is higher. So you can TP also. It's almost 40 pips from here to here. Yeah, 40 pips, guys. 40 pips is quite enough. Joe, I think it'll be good to be taking these live trades at least once a day for just 30 minutes. It will really help sharpen our knowledge. That's a big it's possible, but live trading would be out of the format. The format, because live trading, because it has to have volume. I cannot post signals based on live trading. For example, if I were to post just now, I cannot because those people are not watching the live. They followed, but they're not watching. So it becomes difficult. Because I like to enter and then decide where to cut, where to TP manually on the chart. So people who's not in the live would be waiting for updates, and it's very tough. It's very tough because when you trade, it's not about it's all about where you want to risk, what you understand, where is important. So it's all about understanding. Yeah, in classes it's fine. Yeah, like last class also we did what the one before the 1 month trading course, the basic one. So who joined, remember that we traded live as well. I must rewatch this video like 4 times. Can you do it in our class? Lucky I closed 40 pips. What happened? Yeah, because it can reject. Like I said, short-term scalpers are going to enter. So for those who can still smile, it's okay. But for it to come back to our if it comes back to our entry zone, it means it was gonna test, probably gonna test here or here. But if it does not, it will continue to go up. But right now, how many pips is that? It's at 20. Yeah, some of you can TP. Okay, this one, this candle. it must be a bullish candle. If it's not a bullish candle, it will fall down further, because we know that this chart has opened and then this chart didn't break this one. This one opened at the opening. So this one has to go higher. If it go lower, it's going to burst down lower, because we know that this is a support zone here. So this one has to burst up and cannot break back here. So your SL, for example, if you want to change, you can just put here also 1812, 1813, 1813. Because if it breaks this one, it will come back to our entry. Okay, this one should it will come back to test this level, but we don't know if it can break or not. If it can break, it will fly. Let me read the chat. Yeah, I did discuss volumes, but volumes is a big topic. I got 1.39. Nice, Andrea. Means UTP at 13 pips. UTP at 13 pips. Just now it was $4, right? Yeah, so right now it cannot break this one. Cannot break this one, it should fly. If it breaks this one, okay. Why? Because M15 just opened. Okay, see, M15 just opened. Like I said, it opened. It cannot be a red one, and the opening is here. So it didn't even touch our entry. So for those who still are holding BE, there is still a chance, and there is still it's still possible for it to fly. It's still possible. Because from here to our entry, it's quite far, right? For it to come back down here after flying. So chances for it to fly is there. But it can also reach our BE. But for it to reach our BE, it has to break a buying zone, which is the opening here and some buying zones inside here. So there is buyer supported and a lot of buyers spotted down here. So chances for it to fly is still there. But it's all up to your choice. You can TP at 20 pips, you can TP at. The next topic is high rejection zones. It's high rejection zones. KM15. It's coming to, okay, it's coming here. So you cannot break this level. Like I said just now, who TP'd at like I said, we don't know if it's gonna U-turn or not, but I did tell. It has a chance to U-turn here because scalpers enter selling at rejection zone. But long-term wise, it's a higher chance for it to fly. This happened only because short-term sellers, those without much knowledge, they are selling. But it's very dangerous to sell because of this fly. It's already huge. To sell, it's just risky. It's not worth the sell. Okay. I need to breathe. I need to smoke a cigarette. Let me record a video. All right, guys. So today, me and the people who joined the class, we discussed where is the strongest buying area. It is at 1799 around here and 1797. So this area is a very strong area. If it comes back tomorrow or whatever, if it cannot break this area, cannot go lower, it has a chance to fly. Okay, so that's the golden setup. We did enter tonight. Some people got 40 pips, some people just put BE, so we'll see how it goes. So I hope next classes people are going to join. And for those who haven't registered yet with Jack, please register, because the free session given for those who haven't registered is going to close today. This is the last day. So I hope you guys can join and register and learn from me and live trade on some classes. It's fine, I can. So anything, message Jack, and I hope you have a good day. today was a good day as well. Hit TP3 on our few positions. We entered 3 times, and all 3 times, all 3 entries hit TP3. So I hope you have a good day. Let me read the chat. So yeah, it hit BE. So do you guys see, like I said, it couldn't, not supposed to break this opening. When it broke this opening, it opened, it straight away come to BE. Okay. So that is it. Thank you so much. I think it's we should end it already. It's been 2 hours, so I don't want to drag you guys your time and everything. All right, bye again at 18:10. No, it's okay, Zach. We try to aim at the zone I asked. Welcome. 11.5 Irish. I told 0.01. You entered more. Okay. Fabulous class. Maybe Jack will attend, yeah, because Jack just came back from traveling. Okay, so I hope everyone had a good day. And today, a lot of knowledge was shared. Best class so far. I think so. There's a lot of knowledge. Got good speed, bro. Learned so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Message Jack for those who haven't registered yet, because I think some of the people in here haven't registered yet. So it's fine. Just message Jack. We're in the deep end now. Thank you for the knowledge. All right. Take care, everyone. No more basics. More signals. Because when I trade, see what happened. You guys remember why I didn't want to put our break even? I put down here. It's because these kind of things might happen, like I said. So there are choices to make when you trade. You know, when you have knowledge, there are choices where you want to take a little bit risk for a nice worth it potential, or take no risk without with less satisfaction. You know, so it all depends on your character. It's hard to teach that part, because if I were to trade that time, the one just now, I would actually put my SL here. But when I said I full margin, of course, when I put BE, and it's already 40 pips, so should have flipped to 300%, would have TP'd anyways. So it all depends on the style, on the thing you want, on the risk you want. So it's very, very optional. I cannot teach you that part, but I can teach you all the knowledge you need. There's no fees. It's free. You just have to register an account and use your trading account in that account. Yeah. How risky do you want to be? True. I see more clearly now. Yeah, correct. So it's all on your decision, on the buying zone, or whatever is your choice, you know. But we have to be smart. Okay. Tsunami, baby. Jack loves to say that. I rarely say, you know. All right. So I think we end this session first. I'll see you in the next class. Anything, just message me. I'm sorry if I don't reply a lot of you, because Carlos, if you're a girl or a boy, I don't know, you might fall in love with me if I show my face. That's why. It's very dangerous. You might fall in love. Which lot size can I use for 100K? Lot size for 100K would be, let me calculate. It would be, for example, assuming your for example, Kingsley, if you were to deposit 100K dollar, I would personal coach you. It's fine, because I have to teach you a different strategy. Because people with less money, they want to flip the account really, really high. But if you have 100K, you don't really need to flip high. You know, you just have to play 20% profit is good enough, like that, in a month, 30%. So do you understand? So it's very, very subjective on that part. So you would need to tell Jack, Joe told me that I could have personal coaching with him. Yeah, so it's gonna be more intense. I'm gonna give you every day like a week lesson. Yeah, just message Jack. Let him know. Yeah. then because I need to make sure you know everything. You know, I want to make sure it's worth your while, because we are not gonna go high lots, because when you are trading big accounts like that, even if you enter like 3 lots, 5 lot, for example, I trade, for example, let's say $2,000 account. Sometimes I can go 3 lot, 4 lot, because I want to flip that account. But if you have 100K, you don't have to go that lot. So you can just use the same lot, 3 lot. So it's very low risk. You can decide longer, things like that. Class will be every Friday. Carlos, still yet to be decided. Not sure. Yeah, Rip Goal. Like just now, the burst setup. Imagine I enter 3 lot. My TP is 10. My SL is 10 pips. That would mean that the SL will be 300. Correct? $300. I risk only $300, but 40 pips I got, which is what, $1,002. Technically 50% straight away. So it's very subjective. But that one is after years and years of trading, 6-7 years of seeing the charts every day. So I don't teach people to do that yet. But one day, if you are following my lessons, definitely you can do. Because I did show you the burst setup, things like that. Like now, why it's like hard to fly higher, because this one broke down really fast. This one open. This one is still blocking. As long as it cannot break this level, it's hard to fly up. That's why this one will go down and test this opening. But it already tests one time. So second time, sometimes it might burst down a little. So it's all, there's so many things to share. But I'm trying to share you important ones first. Joe, you should share your trading journey with us one day. Yeah, I can. Emmanuel, you love stories, right? Okay, so Kingsley just messaged Jack. He is on the flight, I think, on the way back. So he'll reply you when he arrives, I think. And yeah, I see you all next time, next week, and we'll decide what we're gonna do, when we're gonna do, and what time we're gonna do it. So I hope everyone had a good day, had a fun time, had Andrea, only like because you don't need special personal training. It's just that his account, he wants to use 100K USD. So that one needs special training, different strategy and things like that. That's why I need to teach him. It's because it's big money. So it has to have, because Andrea, for example, you're trading $1,000. You of course want to flip it to $5,000, $10,000, correct? But if you're trading $100K, you don't need to flip it to $200, $300, $3,000, $300,000. No, you just have to flip it like $20,000 profit for this month. It's okay. Next month, another 15,000, 20,000. So it's good enough, We don't go high on big accounts, So I think I should stop talking, because I can go talk another 1 hour if I don't end the live now. I have problems ending things. So I think I should, and you guys can leave also. Yeah, Andrea, I'll unmute you since you have a question. What's your name? Andrea. Wait, I'm finding your name. Andrea. I'm just finding your name. I cannot find your name. Found it. Yep, you can unmute now.
Okay, Joe. I have a question. So you're saying the personal training are for the folks that have the large amount of funds on their.
Yeah. It's a different strategy, Andrea.
Okay, so if we have 250 or 500, the training wouldn't be for us.
Yeah, the lesson I teach here can be used for $200, $500 account is fine, but $100,000 account, I have to make sure he knows different things. I have to drill him a lot of things different.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right. So the only problem what I'm having is trying to identify the zones to market on the chart.
Yeah.
Until I could get that clear, like where to look for it, the straight line and the
Yeah.
support and the resistance, until I understand how to mark it, how
Yeah.
to identify it.
So firstly, you should just understand some basic things. Where is the zone that is important? What time frame is it at? Things like that first. Just a basic rule of it, and then you keep on learning labeling, and then
Right.
when it's right or wrong doesn't matter, but you will get understanding there. If it's right, you know what to do next. If it's wrong,
Right.
you know what to do next. So doesn't matter yet. You just continue keep labeling based on what I taught in the first day class and today. Maybe you can rewatch the video again. Then continue labeling. It's fine. Continue, because this is a 1 month program. Any questions you have in 2-3 weeks from now, so I can still answer. So you don't
Okay.
need to rush it, you know. So
Okay. I just
I'll
thought it was a strategy where the zones are underneath, the bottom is support.
yeah.
The bottom is support and the top peaks is resistance.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. So I need to label that first, and then I'll understand it each week I will understand something, I guess.
Yes. Correct. Carlos.
So resistance is the top with the peaks, the 3 little peaks or 4 little peaks in a row. And support is always to the bottom, right?
Yes, correct. So
okay,
that
so
is
I get.
I cannot drag further, but next class
Right.
you have this.
Thank you so much.
You have these 5 days to train before the next class. So next class, I'm hoping you can tell me how much you can improve from it, you know. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. And Carlos, yeah, I will recheck on the pictures you guys send, and then I'll make some videos on it to show. Resistance spot. Okay. Yeah. So that is it, guys. I have to cut. I think I talked 20 more extra minutes, you know. See you guys. Message Jack if this class is good or not, because Jack has to know things like that. Okay. I hope everyone has a good day, good night, good morning, good evening. Yeah. Someone wants to talk to me. Why? PC, just message me. Are you in the VIP? If you're in the VIP, I already give my Telegram name. So you just message me there. Okay. Bye. Can I talk here, bro? Okay, can I just off?